Strong past, dynamic future. (1934). The country was just bouncing off the bottom of the Great Depression. Times were tough. Jobs and money were scarce. And it was during this most uncertain time that brothers Les and Walter Allmand decided to start their own business in the small town of Huntley, Nebraska. Leasing a garage in Huntley, Les and Walt opened a small repair and blacksmith shop. Considering that Les only had 1 year of high school under his belt and Walt only grade school, most wouldn't consider this a recipe for success by today's standards. But people were different then. It wasn't a matter of could they succeed. They had to succeed to make a living for themselves and their families. Armed with electrical knowledge, a strong work ethic, and sheer determination, the Allmand brothers grew their fledgling business from 1 garage to 2, and a couple years later, they built their own arc welder. In 1938, they sold their first unit, and the Allmand Brothers Company was born. Allmand Brothers was full of promise and growing, but the same couldn't be said for Huntley. The bank had closed and the railroad discontinued service, making product shipment difficult. Allmand Brothers needed a better environment in which to continue its growth, and following a nearly impossible-to-refuse offer of a rent-free facility for a full year, the company relocated to Holdridge, Nebraska in 1943. Though this offered significant promise for the company's success, Walt's son, Roger Allmand, fondly remembers this time for another reason.
Well, growing up, I remember the first little bit of business, I guess, when I was 6 years old, and our business moved from Huntley, Nebraska to Holdridge. And that was a big deal. For me, it was a big deal. I had a tricycle, and Holdridge, the house we lived in Holdridge, had sidewalks. In Huntley, we had dirt.
Following the move, success for Allmand Brothers continued. By 1945, a distribution network was in place. The company had 13 employees, and it offered 4 different models of arc welders. 3 years later, the company took a slight departure out of arc welders and developed the world's only permanent magnet generator without brushes or bearings. It was so innovative that the government sent an investigator to confirm or disprove the claims. But the claims were true, and this led to a development contract with the United States Navy, which would eventually, though indirectly, lead to the most significant product development in the company's history.
Probably in the early 50s, I got a little development contract with the Navy to develop a couple of high-frequency permanent magnet welders that had to weld underwater. And I don't know how in the world they got that contract, and I'm quite sure they didn't make any money with it, but with the technology, then they started looking for commercial applications to perhaps be another product or another market for the company to be a part of. And so they had this little permanent magnet welder generator, and they ended up looking for opportunities for that. Drove by Peter Kiewit's son's construction equipment yard, actually in Grand Island, Nebraska, and saw some light towers that apparently Kiewit had built up for their own use. And my dad thought that maybe that'd be a place for a generator, because you have to have a generator on that portable light tower. So long story short, they actually sold some generators, and Kiewit then asked them to build up some light towers for them.
It was 1954, and Allmand Brothers had just developed the industry's first portable light tower. This would eventually become the company's highest volume product and is the hallmark of the product line still today. Allmand's newfound role as the leaders in portable lighting was solidified with continued innovations, such as the development in 1957 of a spring-mounted holder to protect bulbs from vibration, the introduction of parallel lamp fixtures for portable light towers in 1968, a technology that is still commonplace today, and the unveiling of Allmand's Maxi-Light line in 1972. Though much of the company's success at this time is attributed to a solid product, continued innovation, and aggressive marketing, most close to the company would claim that the Allmand Brothers' business philosophy, values, and positive culture were just as important. Of course, a manufacturer has nothing to offer without a quality product, but the company founders ensured this would never be an issue by applying the same commitment and values to product development as well.
I remember about Dad, some of his philosophies of business were we ought to make products that deliver more than the customer expects, and products that make friends for us instead of enemies or disappointing people. So he set the bar pretty high as far as how to perform, and I think when I refer to trying to do things the Walter way here, it's kind of making products that will make us friends and deliver more than what the customer expects.
In 1971, Allmand Brothers moved to its present location. The new 11,000 square foot facility was soon outgrown, being added to in 1973 and then again the following year. By this time, the building had increased in size by 74,000 square feet, and the company employed about 25 full-time employees as the light tower boom continued. It was also during this time that the second generation of Allmands, brothers Roger and Steve, got more involved in the business, working their way through the ranks and eventually taking over the management responsibility. The light tower business continued to boom for Allmand Brothers, but the steady decline in the welder market and an ill-timed foray into agriculture equipment led to trouble in the early 80s. But many times the true test of a company's or person's true moral fiber is not during the good times, it's during trying times. For many at Allmand, the leadership's attitude toward this rough stretch simply reaffirmed their belief in the company. With a positive attitude and continued perseverance, Allmand Brothers not only saw its way out of trouble, but right back into riding a strong wave of success. Throughout the 90s and into the new millennium, Allmand introduced several new product lines. The MaxiHeat portable heating system joined the product offering in 1991. In 1996, Allmand introduced the SHO, or Super High Output Lighting System, which generates 50% more lumens per fixture than standard lighting systems and continues to be imitated today. In 2000, it became the only company to offer a 1250-watt lighting system, and 2 years later, it introduced the LSC 100 Light Sequence Commander, the first automatic lighting sequence and command control system. Today, with more than 190 employees and 4 production lines, Allmand continues to innovate. A talented group of employees and the leadership of the next generation provides the foundation for another 70 years of success. And it's not only the company's future that looks bright, but the present as well, literally. The SHO HD lighting system takes the original SHO technology a step further. Whereas SHO provided 50% more light output than competitive towers at the time of its introduction, the new SHO HD features 1,250-watt lamps that produce an impressive 150,000 lumens each. This is 36% higher than standard 1,000-watt lamps. These lamps also provide more coverage. Illumination from the SHO HD lamp covers more than 52,000 square feet of surface area to 1/2 foot candle or brighter. This is nearly 10,000 square feet more than the standard 1,000-watt Allmand SHO light fixture, and up to 16,000 square feet more than competitive 1,000-watt fixtures. Even when compared to Allmand's previous 1,250-watt lamp, the SHO HD provides 10% more coverage. A brighter, higher coverage light means better visibility and more lumens per dollar invested for more efficiency on the job site. But the new light adds one more benefit by providing better color rendering. Offering a color temperature closer to that of real sunlight than any other light system on the market, the whiter light supplied by the SHO HD allows people and objects to be seen more clearly and true to life. The end result is a much safer and more productive work environment. This system is now standard on Allmand's Nightlight and MaxiLight product lines. Feel free to ask us about these new cutting-edge lighting technologies or any of Allmand Brothers' proven products. We are always happy to help. Allmand Brothers, strong past, dynamic future.